Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and to this 1750 Warhammer 40,000 battle report. Today, the Blood Angels are facing off against an unseen foe they have never met on the channel before. It's some Tyranids, commanded by Commissar Ali. So it's going to be very different. This is Ali's 4th edition Tyranid force. None of the newer models or anything are in it. But let's have a quick look through the forces. I'm running the Blood Angel Battle Strike Force. We've got a Battle Predator with Storm Bolter, Heavy Bolters and Overcharge Engines Dozer Blade. I've got a 10-man Assault Squad. They've combat squadded. We've got 2 melter guns in here. We've got a Fast Vindicator with Siege Shield, Bike Squad with a Plasma Gun, Veteran Sergeant with Power Sword, Attack Bike with Melter Gun, and a Biker with a Melter Gun on there as well. We've got the other 5 Assault Marines, Veteran Sergeant with a Power Fist. We've got a Land Raider, I want to say Crusader, with the bolters, no multi-melter, and inside of there is 6 Terminators, 3 with hammers, 3 with claws. Mephiston, Mastery Level 2, Terminator Librarian. Their powers are Unleash Rage, Wings of Sanguinius, Shield of Sanguinius, and Blood Lance, and of course Quickening Sanguine Sword as well. For the troop selection, we've got 5 Sniper Scouts with Camo Cloaks, and we have Castle the Damned, and the 3rd fast attack slot is taken up by a drop pod for him.
Right, here's my non-Imperial Guard list. I'm running 2 cards. Everything's mixed up. Down here I've got 5 warriors. They've got Adrenal Glands, Scythe Talons and Rending Claws. In front of them there's 12 Termagants with Flesh Borers. I've got 10 Hormagants next to the Turbogun. And the Turbogun's psychic power is Dominion and Paroxysm. I've got no upgrades on that. Coming down here I've got another 10 Hormagants. In front of them is 10 Spine Gaunts. There's another 10 Hormagants here. Got my Hive Tyrant there. I've tooled this guy up. I've got loads of stuff in. He's got the Reaper of Obliterax, he's got Adrenal Glands, he's got Scythe and Talons, Indescribable Horror. Put loads of toys on him. Got a Carnifex there, it's just stock, Crushing Claws and Scythe and Talons. Got another 10 Gaunts here, Spine Fists. There's another Carnifex there, Crushing Claws and Scythe and Talons. One lonely lictor over here with his chameleon-like skin. And hiding in the centre, we've got a Broodlord and 6 Gene Stealers. And that's me force.
Right, so very quickly, Ali's psychic powers. The Turbogun has Paroxysm, the Hive Tyrant has Catalyst and the Horror. In reserve, Ali has 2 units of 3 Rippers and a Trigon. Ali's Warlord trait is an extra victory point for every independent character slain in a challenge, which is great for a Walking Tyrant. My Warlord trait is to reroll the D3. Right, so this is a cold planet that the Blood Angels have defended for a number of years, and it looks as though a splinter fleet of High Fleet Leviathan has landed. The Blood Angels are looking to secure this outpost and take back what is rightfully theirs. There is, however, some Tyranid spores in the form of the objective markers. We've got objective marker number 1. Number 2 is over in the trees in the far corner. Number 3 has popped up right on the centre of the helipad. Number 4 in the little copse of trees. Number 5 next to the ruins. And number 6 just on the outskirts at this side. So today's mission is Cleanse and Control, where you draw 3 cards. At the start of your turn you can discard 1, and it's Dawn of War deployment. Currently Ali has turn 1. However, I wish to be somebody and steal the initiative. I've got a bit of a reputation for the last couple of games, so can it happen again? Nope, that's a 3. So,
hey.
Tyranids, turn 1. Right, Tyranids, turn 1. Ali has drew Psychological Warfare. Secure objective 1, which you can make it 2. And assassinate, kill a character. Is the Swarm Lord going to get in the challenge and get that all-important extra victory point? Let's find out. Right, so Ali's done most of his movement, and we've even done some of the run moves. and the Psychic as well. This Carnifex was outside of Synapse range, but he passed his instinctive behaviour, and as a result the Gaunts and him have come hurtling forward. I can see that Land Raider, and I think the Carnifex is making a charge for it. In the centre, all the Gaunts are pushing forward. These ones getting their full 15-inch movement, 6-inch move through cover, 6-inch run, plus bound and leap on top of that as well. In the Psychic phase, the Hive Tyrant got Dominion off and tried to cast Catalyst on the Carnifex, but the Blood Angel Librarians managed to put an end to that. Over this side, the Turvagon, and again all of the Gaunts and the Warriors pushing forward. The Gene Stealers staying where they are out of line of sight. Ali knows he can't charge, but he's waiting for me to move forward and then counter charge, I think. So interesting stuff. These Gaunts are going to secure objective 1. But on the outskirts around this side, the Lictor is heading for those scouts. Right, so it seems as though the Carnifexes and the Hive Tyrant are wanting to move up the field and break apart some armour as fast as they can. Both of them pushing forward, as well as the Turvagon. The Turvagon spawned 11 Gaunts just behind her in the trees there, but unfortunately she doubled out. So I think that's it for Ali's turn. He does score objective marker 1. Are you going to discard any? Go Assassinate or Psychological Warfare?
I'm going to discard Psychological Warfare.
No problem. So as it stands, 1-0 to the Tyranids. Right, so Blood Angel turn 1, I've drew Kingslayer, I've drew Secure Objective 6 and Domination. That is going to be very difficult to get. Right, so the Blood Angels have leapt into action, the Baal Predator hurtling forward to lend some support and fire to start and take down this flank, as Castle the Damned has dropped in to try and obtain this objective marker 2 at this side. There's a lot of Gaunts and a lot of bodies here. I toyed with putting the Vindicator over this way as well, but then I was scared to move the Assault Marines forward onto this because of the Gaunts. The Bikers and the Assault Marines have pulled round, looking to get some lines of fire in on the Gene Stealers. Hopefully we can take them out before they counter charge, but there's still a hell of a lot of Gaunts to get through. On this flank, 3 of the scouts have dropped down. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to use my bow pistols and then I think charge the Lictor, otherwise I'm going to go down. I'd rather be wounding him on 3s with that all-important Furious Charge, even if he does get the swing first. In the centre, the Land Raider leapt into action and Mephiston has led the Terminators out, looking to hurtle towards the centre and possibly start controlling the centre objective here. The Carnifex at that side, I debated whether or not I should go for him, and I thought, nah, we might as well try and go for the objective, cut the Gaunts down as fast as possible, because I think in combat the Terminators may come off slightly better, but we'll have to see what happens. So that is it for movement phase. We need to handle these Gaunts quickly. Let's move on to Psychic. Right, so it seems that the shadows in the warp are affecting the Blood Angel Psychers quite dramatically. Both Mephiston and the Librarian suffered a wound, and the Librarian unfortunately forgot Unleash Rage. They did, however, both get quickening off for +1 attack and initiative each, and Mephiston is now swinging at strength 10 with force. So, although we got a lot of powers off, unfortunately we started taking wounds. Luckily though, that all-important shadow in the warp rule not coming into effect just yet. Right, shooting phase for the Blood Angels proven to be a little bit difficult. The Knight fighting, getting in the way quite a bit. The Warriors here took fire from Castle the Damned. I was hoping to double one out with a Melter Gun, but unfortunately missed. The Stormbolters and the Iron Rain from the Baal Predator at this side only inflicted a single wound. Meanwhile, fire from the Assault Squad and the Bikers managed to bring down, was it 4 or 5 Gene Stealers?
5, because there was 6 to begin with.
There's 1 left with the Broodlord at this side. In the centre, we managed to bring down how many Gaunts? 4? 3?
3.
3 Gaunts with fire from the Vindicator. We even got a wound on the Carnifex. However, due to that knife fighting and intervening models, Ali managed to pass his save. Meanwhile, down this side, bow pistols from the Scouts and the Assault Cannon unfortunately did nothing to the Lictor. And using Power of the Machine Spirit, we fired that Hurricane Bolter sideways into the guns, trying to thin them out, but unfortunately no damage at all was done. So that is it for shooting. Very, very quick shooting phase there, but I've got 2 charges that we're going to be making. The Scout's going to be charging the Lictor, and Mephiston and the Terminators are going to be charging both units of Gaunts. Right, so assault phase quite productive for the Blood Angels. The Scouts charged in. The Lictor unfortunately got a double rend. However, the Scouts managed to get 3 wounds on the Lictor, and Ali passed all but 1 of his saves. So this guy is down to 1 wound, and he chose to hit and run out, and my Scouts have consolidated this way onto this objective. We'll go in for domination if we can. Meanwhile, in the centre, Mephiston made an 11-inch charge, hurtled in and cut most of the Gaunts down. We've got 4 left in that squad, and we've got 3 left in this squad. They are within synapse range though, which means they are staying where they are, and at least I can't take fire this turn. But is Ali going to divert some of the Gaunts into them? We'll have to see. Meanwhile, on this side, the Broodlord managed to kill 2 of the Marines outright, and we managed to inflict a single wound back on the Broodlord. We did pass our leadership test and we stand strong. Hopefully we can hold them up and then shoot them down in our shooting phase next turn. So let's have a look at the scores. Alright, so I don't score Kingslayer, but my Terminators are pretty close to the Hive Tyrant, so I don't know whether to keep hold of it. I do score objective 6. Domination, I'm close, so I think I'm actually going to keep both of them. Neither of us have scored first blood, so at the end of turn 1 it is 1-1. Right, Tyranids turn 2. Ali has drew Big Game Hunter, Secure 1, which that blob of Terminators is on, and Assassinate, kill a character, and all of his reserves are on. So 1 brood of Rippers has jumped in, hidden themselves in the ruins there. I think maybe he's looking to take out these Scouts, maybe make a late game grab on that objective for Ali. Meanwhile, the Carnifex on this flank is hurtling forward towards the Land Raider here. I think I can say bye-bye to that, probably. In the centre, the Hive Tyrant has sighted Mephiston, and he's going for him. The Hormigans as well, swarming around him. I think Ali's going to try and take them down with weight of dice at this side. The Tervagon pulling sideways, looking to paroxysm the unit probably. I don't want that at all. This unit can hit hard, but Ali is going to do some serious damage to it, I think. The Gaunts in the centre, looking probably to get a charge in on the Vindicator. But look what popped up behind. Uh-oh. So yeah, the Marines back here are going to have to deal with the Trigon. Luckily there's a Power Fist in there, but there's 6 wounds to get through, I think. And the Carnifex here looking to charge and climb up the side of the helipad and take on the bikers that are spinning around in the centre. This flank, the Gaunts, are they going to help the Gene Stealers out? Or are they going to go for the rear armour of that Baal Predator perched up there on the rocks? Who knows? On this flank, the Warriors have come round to take charge and hopefully bring Cassor the Damned down with their rending claws and tear through his armour. The rest of the Gaunt, everything is pushing forward to this Baal Predator, and again one of the units of Rippers jumping behind the enemy lines. So it looks as though the Blood Angels are being driven back despite them making quite a forward charge in their first turn. Let's see what happens in the Tyranid Psychic and shooting phase. Right, so in the Psychic phase, this guy cast Dominion and I managed to stop it thankfully. The Tervagon also cast it and then went for Paroxysm on Mephiston's unit. Mephiston, however, denying on 4s due to being a higher mastery level and Psychic Hood in there as well. The only other thing that Ali has done is these Gaunts have ran 6 inches, and back here the Trigon shot into the rear armour of the Vindicator, doing no damage unfortunately. So very quick shooting in Psychic phase, but we're going to have a nasty combat in the middle here. Wow, what a turn of events for the Tyranids. The Hive Tyrant came hurtling in and challenged Mephiston. Unfortunately, he tripped on a bush and Mephiston cut him down thanks to strength 10 and force still being active. We managed to cut down quite a few of the gaunts here as well, but they are staying where they are because the Tervagon has an 18-inch synapse. As expected, the Carnifex at this side charged straight through the Land Raider. Unexpectedly though, the Lictor made the charge against the Scouts. We lost one of them, and they managed to come down with a single wound, and they've consolidated that way to keep hold of that objective. The Rippers still waiting, biding their time. Meanwhile, in the centre, the Gaunts that came hurtling over the rocks managed to put a single glance on the Vindicator, and in the centre, the crack grenades and the power sword from the Sergeant there put 2 wounds on the Carnifex, but unfortunately we lost 2 of the bikers there as well. Down this side, the Genestealer Broodlord and the Genestealer each cut down one of the Assault Marines, and unfortunately we didn't do any damage back in return. The Gaunts even charged in and failed to do anything. The Hormagaunts this side coming for the Baal Predator and only inflicting again a single hull point. However, the Warriors with Furious Charge charged in, and Ali rolled 4 6s to glance Cast All the Damned to death. Of course, Rending Claws, those 6s automatically glancing by the time you add the D3, so they are consolidating back this way. So lots and lots of action there for the Tyranids in close combat. Let's have a look at the points and see what Ali scores. Right, so Ali scores Big Game Hunter for taking down the Land Raider at this side, and unfortunately for me, Cast All the Damned is a character, which meant that Ali also scores Assassinate, and he's also scored First Blood. Right, so down here the Warriors charged in and cut Cast All the Damned down. He is a character, so Ali does score Assassinate. However, First Blood actually went to me due to Ali charging the Hive Tyrant here first. If we'd done it in any other order, he'd have scored it, but unfortunately the Hive Tyrant was slain, so that will get me Slay the Warlord and First Blood as well, which puts us at 3 each. Right, so I've still got Domination. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get Objective Marker number 2 now the castle's not over there. I'm going to score Kingslayer straight away. Witch Hunter is going to be difficult. I need to kill either the Broodlord or the Tervagon. Both are going to prove very difficult this turn. Right, so the plan is to use the Baal Predator and the Vindicator to start thin out this horde at this side. I don't know whether to go for the Warriors though, because if I go for the Warriors I can double them out and potentially make these guys all run as well. In the centre, the Assault Marines are going to try and take out these Gaunts as they're just within Synapse range. The Trigon, of course, is going to be out of range, so he is going to have to take Synapse, which might keep me alive. Might. We'll have to see. But this lone Marine there is holding that entire combat up, and I don't want that because he's going to die in my turn and Ali is going to charge. Meanwhile though, we've got this combat in the centre here. It's not ideal, but I'm at least probably going to make it out, and I'm going to make my way to the Tervagon to hopefully get Witch Hunter next turn. Right, so the shooting and psychic phase totally uneventful for the Blood Angels. The Vindicator shot across at the Warriors and scattered 8 inches into the centre here where there is nothing. Nothing. The drop pod also had a go and failed to do anything. And the Baal Predator here killed 2 Gaunts. Yep, 2. 12 shots, killed 2 Gaunts. No. Down here, we managed to kill 2 of the Gaunts with the bow pistols. Meanwhile, in the psychic phase down here, Mephiston and the Librarian both got force off, and Mephiston also got +2 attacks on quickening. So hopefully that'll set us up quite nicely for next turn for either the Tervagon or the Carnifex coming back to charge us. These guys took a shot with the bow pistols at the Rippers, and Ali passing his cover save. So totally uneventful in the shooting and psychic phase, but we've got an assault to make down here. The Scouts are going to charge here, and then hopefully we'll break out of this combat here. Right, so combat's down this side as expected. The Broodlord made mincemeat of that remaining Space Marine, and all the Gaunts and the Genestealers are now coming this way to take out the Vindicator and Baal Predator. As expected down here, the Assault Marines leapt into action with the jump packs and managed to tear down the gaunts at that side. Meanwhile, I lost the attack bike over here. Ali only getting a single hit, and the power sword cutting through the chin of the Carnifex, inflicting another wound. So hopefully, if Ali doesn't go too far after his assault phase, I can take down the Carnifex with that power fist. Over this side, the Marines charged in with Furious Charge wounded on 2s, managed to inflict 3 wounds on the base, and unfortunately we lost one of the Marines down here. Down in the centre, Mephiston and the Terminators made short work of the remaining gaunts and have pushed forward this way, looking to hopefully take on the Tervagon next turn. So it looks as though I don't score Witch Hunter, I don't score Domination, but I do get Kingslayer for D3, which I can re-roll for 1 point. So that puts me at 4 to Ali's 5, was it?
3.
Yep, 4 to Ali's 3. So let's move on to Tyranids turn 3. Right, Tyranids turn 3. Ali has drew secure objective 1, secure objective 2 twice. The Warriors are going to score that for him. Carnifex down this side, passed his synapse test and is moving back to secure objective 1 for Ali. The Rippers are hopefully going to take out this scout for him. But moving across the Blood Angels defence lines, the Trigon, again passing his instinctive behaviour, is coming for the Assault Marines before they make it to the Carnifex or the Tervagon. Locked up combat down here, but Ali's going to charge the gaunt in to try and make sure that sergeant with the power sword dies. The Hormigans going for this Bar Predator, and the Gene Stealer and the Broodlord remaining going for the Vindicator. So it's all or nothing for Ali in this turn. Can he do some damage? So the Tervagon moving back away from this little Death Star, heading towards them. The Gaunt shot in and unfortunately did 1 wound in the Terminator armour, holding strong. But in the sight phase, the Tervagon tried to cast Paroxysm on this lone biker, and we managed to roll 2 6s with 10 dice to stop it, thankfully. However, down here we lost 2 of the Assault Marines thanks to the Trigon, so they're going to need a morale check, and they pass, of course, staying exactly where they are. Going to face down the Trigon as he comes hurtling in. Right, so super fast combats now for the Tyranids. They're starting to make mincemeat of what is left of the Blood Angel force. The Broodlord slamming into the armour of the Vindicator and tearing through it with them rending claws. However, the Hormigans simply scratch and paint off the Baal Predator. Meanwhile, the Warriors charging in with Furious Charge and those rending claws, cutting apart the armour on the drop pod, stunning it, dropping it down to a single hull point. Meanwhile, in the centre, the Tervagon charged in to support the Carnifex. The veteran sergeant with the power sword unfortunately couldn't bring the Carnifex down before the Carnifex and Tervagon tore him apart. In the centre, the Trigon came hurtling in. Hammer of Wrath did nothing and managed to kill 2 of the Marines. The sergeant and 1 of the Marines, however, each putting a wound on him using a crack grenade and that power fist, tying up that combat in the centre for objective marker 5. But over on this flank, the Rippers finally tore through the scout sergeant that was holding these up, not before he put another wound on them. So as we look across the battlefield, there is some scattered remains of Blood Angels left here and there, and a few Tyranid monstrous creatures tearing through the complex. Let's have a look at Ali's points and see where he scores. So Ali scores objective 1 here with the Carnifex, and objective 2 over there with the Warriors, giving him another 3 points, putting him on 6 to my 4. Right, so we haven't got much left of the Blood Angel force. The Baal Predator's backed up yet again to try and cut down these gaunts. And in the centre, Mephiston and the Terminators are coming back for objective 5. It was a case of do I go for objective 5, do I go for Witch Hunter over here? Who knows? However, in the sighted phase, only Mephiston managed to get Sanguine Sword off. Ali stopped Force, and I didn't get Force off on the Librarian or Quickening, unfortunately. Right, so the Baal Predator instead decided to go for the Broodlord down here, scoring me Witch Hunter. And the only other thing left to do was to make an attempt at a charge here, and unfortunately I rolled a 5, I needed a 9 to make it in. So we've got this one combat to make here, but I think I know what's going to happen. So as I expected, the Trigon cut down the veteran sergeant. I went for a crack grenade rather than waiting for him to kill us and swing the power fist, and unfortunately didn't wound him. However, Ali must be feeling brave. He is heading for Mephiston. So at the end of my turn, I do score Witch Hunter for 1 point. I'm going to discard Psychological Warfare, so that is 6-5 to Ali. Right, so Tyranids turn 4. Ali has drew Secure Objective 5, which the Trigon is on. Secure Objective 1, which the Carnifex is on. Domination. He's going to score Domination as well. So, as we look across the battlefield, the Rippers are going to hold Objective Marker 4. The Carnifex is going to hold Objective Marker number 1. The Trigon holds 5. The Tervagon has 3. The Hormagaunts down here, although the Baal Predator is still there, they are troops, so they will trump him on Objective 6. And the Warriors have got Objective 2. That is all 6, isn't it?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, so it looks as though Ali is going to score Domination, but things are starting to converge on the centre. Tervagon and Olagaunt are going to be shooting in. I don't think he's going to be charging this turn though, so I've at least got 1 turn to set my psychic powers up. He did get Dominion off and tried to cast Paroxysm on Mephiston's squad, but of course Mephiston denied on force. We managed to stop it. So it looks as though there's going to be a final stand of Blood Angels next turn. Let's see where it goes. Right, so as expected in the assault phase, there's nothing else over this side of the table, so we just rolled the attacks as the guns made the charge distance and it's easier than moving them. Ali finally rolling 6s, getting 4.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah, finally.
Finally.
Even choking. So yeah, those guys cut the Baal Predator down, and in the centre we lost 2 Terminators to shooting from all the Gaunts and the Prime and the Tervagon. The Termagants charged in and 2 of them are left. That is obviously going to tie them up going into my turn, but Ali does score Objective 5 here. He scores Objective 1 for another 2 points, puts him at 8, plus Domination, puts him at 11, plus D3.
6. So that's another 3.
That's, what then, 14 points?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Warriors wrecked the drop pod over there as well, so that's even going to stop me from getting a line breaker. So going into my turn 4, it's going to be basically kill 2 Gaunts.
You can always edit, can't you?
Yeah. So going into turn 4, I've drew Decapitating Strike, which will get me 1 point. Noble Self-Sacrifice, I need to kill my own Warlord. And Secure 5, that's going to be difficult. Right, so turn 4, as expected, we went straight into the psychic phase, and Mephiston has pumped himself up. He's got Force, he's got Quickening, and Sanguine Sword. So he's swinging at initiative 6 with 6 attacks at strength 10 with Force. So Ali, charge them in. Do it, mate. Do it.
Do it.
So I scored Decapitating Strike for 1 point. I'm going to discard Noble Self-Sacrifice. Right, Tyranids turn 5. Ali has drew Ascendancy, which won't be difficult since he's got Domination, and secure Objective 3 twice. So the Rippers at this side are going to secure Objective 4, whilst everything else converges on Mephiston in the centre. Objective 3 is held by the Hormagaunts that were back here. They've already ran. The Rippers down here are controlling this objective, and of course the Warriors back there holding that one. So Ali is putting everything into this unit. It's potentially the last turn. We'll have to see how much of that he can take down. There's only 5 wounds, 6 wounds in the entire unit. Right, so in the assault phase, everything came hurtling in. Mephiston cut down one of the Carnifex, and despite Ali getting several wounds through, we managed to look out onto those storm shields of the Terminators. We managed to put 3 wounds on the Tervagon as well with the Hammonators. So it looks as though Ali is running away with it. He scores Objective 3 twice, and he scores Ascendancy for another D3. So he was on 12, was it? For for another 2. That's 14, 15, 16. So let's move into Blood Angels turn 5. Right, so Blood Angels turn 5, we drew Ascendancy, Secure 6 and Secure 5. None of these are happening, I'm stuck in the middle of the board. Right, so that's it, the game is all over. The Psychic Phase, Mephiston managed to get Sanguine Sword off, but the sheer weight of attacks unfortunately cut the Librarian down by the Turbogon. The Carnifex came hurtling in with Crushing Claws, Strength 10, insta-killing Mephiston. The Terminator Sergeant there with the Storm Shield. The lone survivor was too far away to save Mephiston with a lookout, sir. So that is it for the game. Let's have a look at the points. Right, and with that, with Ali scoring line breaker as well, the score is 20 to 6. Ali's Tyranids proving what they are made of and slaughtering the Blood Angels. It's been a really interesting game. It's been nice to play against Ali's Tyranids. He's still learning to use them, still using 4th edition models. But it's been a fantastic game. Ali, got any thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it went pretty well. Probably shouldn't have charged Tyrant when I did, but blood. We're not going to hold back.
Definitely. And I think the Gaunts making their way up the table, destroying the tanks, and forcing me out into charge range. Schoolboy error on my part. Thanks very much for watching, folks, and please check out the rest of the battle reports, and hopefully Ali will be back with his Imperial Guard and Space Wolves.